Hi, everyone. This month, Jim and I are going to talk about the importance of including all of the stakeholders in an executive search and succession process. And to begin with, we want to talk about what a stakeholder is in the first place, as it's a bit of a unclear term. For some people, this means shareholders, the folks who own the business, are ultimately the key decision makers, and everything is designed to benefit shareholders in some capacity. In other cases, people mean stakeholders as those that are in the C-suite and have the decision authority necessary at the top of the org chart to run the business. And while those are true stakeholders in very real capacities, when we think about working with family companies, we want to broaden the lens of what a stakeholder means to include people that might not even necessarily be in the org chart. The first one that we want to hit on here, we like to call the retired stakeholder. Oftentimes, this is a founder. Sometimes it is a G2 or G3 family member who is out of the org chart. They are sometimes even tendered their shares. They no longer own the business, yet they still exist outside of the business and assert their influence. It's really important to bring those people in to an executive search process, particularly when selecting a chief executive officer. And we're going to explore that one first. Jim, what are your thoughts on that kind of retired stakeholder and how they can influence a process?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that one up first because it is probably the most significant of the group. And we see this happening quite often in organizations where there's been a long tenured leader in the business that has chosen or reached the point of retirement and yet is so highly acclaimed by his family and the management team that they'll bow down for that person. And what happens is that the influence that comes from that chair can undermine everything that is trying to be done. Any good idea can be changed by that person saying no. And what has to be understood from our perspective is you can't change that exactly, but you have to understand it as you walk into the relationship. And what I mean is that, let's say there is a person hired and they don't understand the implication of the person behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And they think they can originate a plan and they have it all ready to roll out. And then the big foot goes down and it's no, we're not doing that. I've never done that and it won't happen here. So it has to be explained, has to be seen, should be challenged. All of it, though, needs to be adapted to for a successful project.
Yeah, I had a couple things here. In a lot of cases like this, when you have a retired stakeholder that's asserting their influence, what you have there is the policies and processes and procedures have effectively become a paper tiger, where the organization says, well, this is it, the way that we run things, but then you have an outside person who comes in and just bulldozes that and asserts their influence anyways. That can be a huge waste of time for all of the capital and time and capital invested in a process, but it also can undermine the staff in an organization. But most critically, perhaps, is forget the process and imagine you go through and you're bringing a new person into your organization and you have not included that retired stakeholder in the process. That it means that the person who's accepted this job is unaware of what the real landscape they're going to be operating in will be. And you increase the risk of attrition or conflict between that person and the way the company is truly managed. If you're wondering if your family or perhaps one of your clients, if you're not a family business yourself, but you work with families, is ready to address succession planning, you can visit our website for all sorts of free resources, including a readiness assessment, as well as an ebook about hiring non-family executives and a wealth of perspective that can help you explore your own journey in succession planning in your family company.